Alright, welcome to today's lesson. This is the lesson 2 of the web development tutorial. And today we'll be focusing on how to create a web page using HTML. And to do that, the first thing we need to do is create a folder where we are going to store all that we'll be using to create our website. So give it a name. So I'm going to call it web project. You can pretty much give it any name that you want. All right, once you do that, double click the folder to open it. You can see the folder is empty. So in that main folder, we are going to create two subfolders. One will be the one that will hold all the images that we are going to use to develop our website. So I decided to give it img, which is short form for image. And the second folder would be called css. In our previous lesson, I told you what css is. It is cascade style sheet, and it is used for organization and structure and proper layout of our web content. So once you have done that, you can close the folder and launch your text editor. Alright, so welcome to the new text editor. Alright, so the next thing I want you to do is how to access the folder that we have created from our text editor. So what you need to do is click on the file tab and select open folder. Okay, and once you do that, you go and look for the folder that you created. We created that folder on desktop, so I think it's this. So I'm going to select that and click on select folder. Okay, you can see, so I have uploaded the folder into my text editor. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is configure this interface to support the language I want to be working with. Sublime Text is a text editor, one of the most powerful and the most popular text editor used by programmers worldwide globally. And it is not just used to develop websites, it is also used to write other web programs. You can use it to develop any web application or mobile application. So, and to give you an example of that, if you click at this bottom right corner where you have plain text, if you click on it, it will show you the list of different and several programming languages that you can write with Sublime Text. So it's a matter of which language do you know and which language do you want to write. So in this case, we want to start with HTML. So I'm going to select HTML. Once I do that, the plain text changes to HTML, and what that means is that this interface has been configured to support that language. So it means I cannot configure this interface to support HTML and be writing Java program or be writing C++ program. It will run into an error. So now that I have configured it to support HTML, it means anything that this interface will be suggesting for me will be relating to the language that I have suggested or selected. So the first thing you want to do is type in a less than sign and type HT. Alright, so you can see the reason I suggested or recommended Sublime Text at our previous lesson is because of beginners. I want to save us the stress of typing a lot of codes and all of that, which might get beginners in this tutorial frustrated and discouraged. So I want to avoid that. So the Sublime Text helps us to save that stress so that it makes suggestions for us, and if the suggestion made by the Sublime Text is in line with what we want to do, all we just need is select it and the Sublime Text does the rest for us. So what we wanted to do is create an HTML file which will help us to create a web page. So here it is. Alright, good. So you can see that Sublime Text has done the rest for us. All of these are all that I would have typed if not that I have configured this interface to support HTML. So once you have done this, don't worry about all that you have here. I'm going to explain every one of them later in this tutorial to you, so you don't have to bother yourself. Okay, so once you have done this, the next thing you want to do is click on the File tab and select Save As, and make sure that you locate the folder that we created at the earlier part of this lesson, and in the file name type in index. So it is important you use index because we are still going to create many more web pages. Don't forget that in our previous lessons we said the collection of web pages forms a website. So it therefore means that in a website you can have as many pages as you want. However, when you visit a website, the first page that you see is tagged the home page. So you might want to ask yourself, how does a web browser identify which of the pages is actually the home page, which is the reason why we are doing this right now. If you want your browser to identify a specific web page out of several web pages that are in your web folder, then you have to tag that home page with, with the name index. So once the web browser scans through the content of your web page folder and it come across this index, it automatically assumes that that is your home page and that is the first thing to be displayed. If you do not go through this instruction and you give it any other name, yes, it will work, but the browser might not be able to authenticate which of the pages is your web page. So the browser will be at independent to pick on any of the web page to be your home page. So I recommend that you save the home page of your website as index. Okay, and the save as type of course is HTML, and you click on save. Alright, so once you do that, you can minimize this and go back into your folder. You can see when we created this folder, it was just two items, which is the CSS folder and the IMG folder. But now there are three. We are now having a third item with a browser icon. Now the browser icon I have here is Google Chrome, and that is because my Google Chrome is set as my default browser. So if I click on this right now, you will see that it will take me, you can see, and the title, from the title tab you can see index, but I have nothing on my web page right now, and that is because I have not supplied content in it. So the next thing I want to do is change this title to something we could be more familiar with, and I can do that with the title tag here. Don't worry. So I'll just come here and type web development tutorial. Okay, Control S to save the work, and once you, if you see this, just click on cancel. So Control S again, go back to your web browser, refresh, and you can see that the index.html has changed to web development tutorial. So in our previous lesson, next lesson rather, I'm going to explain every line of code that is here to you. So please, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please do like this video and also click on the subscribe button if you haven't, and also hit on the notification bell so that you'll be the first to be updated anytime I upload a new video. Please, till I come your way in the next lesson, do enjoy your day. Bye.